The return of live music is something that we've all been waiting for. Whether you're an artist, you work in the music industry, or you're just a music lover, we've all been wondering when live shows and concerts are gonna come back. And as someone who spent 2019 working pretty much entirely in the live music industry, both as a musician and as a live sound tech, I too have been wondering when live concerts and live shows are gonna come back. So today I wanna share with you my thoughts and opinions on exactly what's going on, when we might see shows coming back, and exactly what I'm doing in the meantime. So thanks so much for being here. I know this is gonna be a little bit different than most of my videos, but if you don't mind giving this video a big thumbs up if you find any part of it helpful, useful, or informative, I'd really appreciate that a lot. So yeah, let's jump into it. So I think the first thing to talk about is there still a demand for live music? And obviously there is. Anybody who loves music knows the feeling of going to a live concert and seeing their favorite artist right in front of them with the speakers just blaring and the cool light shows. And I have no doubt that live music will come back one day. Just looking at this article from Rolling Stone, which they seem to put out an article about live music returning every single month, Live Nation says that 83% of fans have opted to hold on to tickets rather than asking for refunds. And this just shows that within majority of fans, Live Nation is by far one of the biggest concert promoters out there. If 83% of people who bought tickets through Live Nation have still held onto these tickets, they're still hopeful that these concerts are going to come back and they still want to see these shows. They would rather have that ticket for the opportunity to go see their favorite artist in the future than have cash in their pocket right now. So there's no doubt in my mind that live concerts will return one day. The matter is just when they will return. Now, some more from this article. An executive from Live Nation said that you can't do a Swiss cheese routing. And what he means by this is that some states may have opened up and are more open to having people inside clubs, inside of venues. That doesn't mean that touring is going to work for everybody. I mean, think of going on tour as an artist and you have to skip over certain states and there's several days off in between your shows. It just doesn't make for a profitable tour. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to the music industry. It's a business and it's a money-making machine, and it's all about making profits. At the end of the day, unfortunately, it's not about creating songs and creating really cool experiences. It's about money. And if there's no money to be made in these live shows, the live shows aren't going to take place, and that's the bottom line. So I think that hoping that concerts get back into fruition this year is a little over hopeful, but that doesn't mean that we still couldn't see one-off shows, maybe some outdoor events like some festivals on smaller scales and stuff, but I don't see big concert tours taking place this year. And even into 2022, I know I've seen a lot of rebookings for later in the fall of 2021 or in the spring of 2022, but I still don't even know if we could see these concerts happening. And I think this is where a lot of smaller artists and younger artists like myself are getting a skewed vision of exactly what's going on in the world, and it's affecting our decisions as musicians. I've had so many people reach out to me about some of the Facebook ad videos that I've done of how to advertise your songs and your music using Facebook ads, trying to get people over to your Instagram page and building fans on Spotify. And they've told me that they want to focus mainly on touring cities within their region, that they might potentially see themselves touring later this year or next year. And while I think it's a good idea to be thinking about these things and having an idea of, okay, these are probably the cities that I'm going to play on tour, I don't know if that should be any smaller artist's focus right now, myself included. What I've actually focused on, and what I think more importantly you should be focusing on, rather than thinking about touring and playing shows, is focusing on building an international artist and becoming this old adage of an internet band. I know a few years ago I would always joke around with my friends and other bands saying like, oh yeah, they're a really cool internet band, but they don't tour, they don't go out and play shows, they don't have that live show experience. And you know what? Those bands are probably thriving right now, because touring doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you're on the road meeting all these people face to face, because that is not a thing right now, obviously. So I think that taking this approach of being an internet band, building a strong online presence, whether that's on your Instagram page or going viral on TikTok or trying to build up your Spotify account, is going to be the best way to grow as an artist. Excuse me, let me take a drink. Let's just take a look at some quick Spotify numbers here. At the end of 2018, Spotify had 207 million monthly active users. At the end of 2019, they had 271 million monthly active users. And at the end of 2020, they had 345 million monthly active users. And I think these numbers are going to continue growing through 2021. So I don't see any shortage of people wanting to listen to music. I don't see a death of the music industry or the music industry slowing down in any way whatsoever. I just think our approach of it needs to change. I know one really cool live concert series that I've seen going on recently has been the Tiny Desk sessions. I know Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato, Taylor Swift, they've all played this cool little small format concert where it's more of a stripped back acoustic live stream type show. And I think this is where the industry is not only heading over the long term, but I think this is where a lot of opportunity is in the music industry right now. The old adage is that you got to get out on the road, you got to play shows, and you got to be in front of people face to face. But that's not the age of the world that we live in anymore. And I could see in the future, 5, 10, 20 years from now, that these more online type shows and performances and having a strong internet presence is going to be so much more important than it is right now today. And I already think that it is really important today. I mean, if you don't have anybody following you on the internet and you're only getting around by word of mouth, it's going to take a long time and it's really slow. We know how fast the internet can spread information. Real, fake, true, false, it doesn't matter. The internet will spread information like wildfire. And so I think it's your job as an artist is to try to get your name out there. Post regularly on Instagram, on TikTok, on Spotify. I think one thing that we need to start doing as artists is releasing more music. And this doesn't have to be professional, studio quality recordings even that we're releasing on Spotify. I almost see Spotify as a different type of social media than we've seen in the past. I think it'd be really cool to approach Spotify in a different way and post pretty much everything you've ever recorded to Spotify. So post some of your demos for your fans to hear, or some B-side songs that maybe didn't make your album or that you're just working on. Post them on Spotify, let them be heard. There's more and more people jumping on Spotify every single day. And I think that we need to try to capture as many of these people as possible as early on. I think Spotify is going to be a lot bigger 5 or 10 years down the road than it is right now. And so we need to make sure that we get a jump start in becoming one of the bigger artists on Spotify. Now, I know I talk about Spotify a lot and how important that I think it is, but that's just because I really see the potential of Spotify long term. I mean, they're already one of the biggest tech companies out there. They work off of algorithms and having really, really good playlist and music suggestions for you. And I think that's what separates them from anybody else. Now, okay, I went on a bit of a Spotify tangent there, but anyways, I really, really like Spotify. I think you should really be using it to its full capabilities and releasing more music. Point number one. Now, as for a timeline of when we might see concerts coming back, I really don't think there is an answer to that, unfortunately. Jumping back into this article, health experts say that guessing at a reopening timeline is no easier now than it was a year ago. And that's not very reassuring, because a year ago, a lot of people were saying, oh, by the end of 2020, we'll have concerts going. And I actually thought I wanted to be one of the first bands within the smaller local scene to be playing a show. I thought, wouldn't it be cool? Everybody's all ready to see a live concert. And if I was the first band to play that show, we'd get so much hype. The show would be so sick. And now thinking about it, that's not a smart idea. Not only are you jeopardizing people's health by trying to push for a show too soon, but there's no point, there's no big benefit to it other than potential monetary gains and to make a few dollars from it, which I don't think should be your goal right now as a musician. While I do think it's important to try to start bringing in some sources of income to help fund your band, there's a lot better ways to do it than playing shows. I mean, start up a YouTube channel, try to get a few thousand subscribers on your YouTube channel, and eventually you're going to get paid sponsorships down the road. Or start building up your Instagram and TikTok following, or start posting more music on Spotify, or start a Patreon page where you get people to support you and donate to what you're doing. You give them a look at behind the scenes content, or start selling some merchandise. I mean, the options are endless of how you can monetize yourself as an artist. Hop onto Twitch, start doing some live streams, play an hour's worth of music every single night, and watch your following start to grow. I think there's so many different ways that we need to be focusing our energy and attention to in terms of music, and even in terms of playing live, like I said, live streaming. But but focusing on playing physical shows and touring is going to be a waste of our time, a waste of our energy, and overall will not help us grow as artists. So I really think we need to turn our focus and attention, at least for the time being, away from touring. I have officially written off touring for the near term. I mean, I have no plans of playing a show this year in 2021 whatsoever. And it's been hard to come to that realization and accept that, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that I have. And even moving into 2022, I don't expect to play a live show in 2022 whatsoever. If I get to, that would be awesome. That would be really cool. That'd be a lot of fun. I know as artists, we've spent our whole lives dreaming about playing in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people. And so that's what we want to do with our music. We want to make music and play it in front of a ton of people. But I think we need to shift those dreams into a different direction and realize that we can still reach these same numbers of people. We can actually reach a lot more people and play at one time in front of thousands, if not tens of thousands of people with just one performance through the internet. And I think that's where our focus and attention needs to go as musicians. Drop the physical shows, drop the live touring, get that out of your brain. It's going to be hard. It's going to take some time and a bit of effort and maybe a few weeks for this to really start to sink into you. But I think once you get over that hurdle and can move past it, you're going to be able to focus on the bigger picture of your band and you as an artist and really figure out how you can start growing in our modern age, which is the age of the internet, and focusing on growing yourself as an artist that way. So I know this video was a little bit ranty. I didn't get into all of my points, but I don't want it to be too long and too boring. So if you did find this video helpful, and if you have any opinions or thoughts on exactly what I talked about, please drop a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts because maybe I'm super wrong. But one thing that I know I'm not wrong about is the future of live music. I think it's gonna be so much more heavily influenced by the internet, by social media, by the digital age. So all I can say is just focus on really trying to grow your online presence as much as you can, because I think in the long term, even once touring comes back, having a strong online presence is gonna be one of the most important factors for you as an artist. Anyways, my name's Cody. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you found this one helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. I post videos sometimes like this 2 times a week. So thanks so much for hanging. Have a good one.